in one of the greatest cities in the world for one of the greatest challenges on the squash calendar. It's the Halifax Equitable Super Series Finals held here at the Broadgate Arena, London. And coming to the event, plenty of questions to be asked. The title holder, Peter Nicol, unstoppable last year, but his form in the last few months has dropped him to world number 2. Is he ready for this? The man who is on form is Australian world number 3, David Palmer, fresh from winning the British Open. And the ex-world number 3, who should have been here by rights, Ahmed Barada, is out due to injury. That means Mark Chaloner from England joins the top 8. These are the points, remember, earned just at the high-tech Super Series events in the previous year. These top 8 players will now contend these finals as a playoffs to decide the overall title. Let's meet them. Mark Chaloner, as high as number 8 in the world 5 years ago, and now he's back on the charge again. He realises the finals are tough right from match 1.
I met Peter Nicol, the world number 2 presently, both in the first round of the Irish Open. He sorted me out there, and then he did the same again in the British Open in the second round. So, you know, but if you're going to win any tournaments, you've got to beat everybody in the draw. So that's just the way the luck falls sometimes.
He's one of the new wave of Australian squash talent that has swept up the rankings in the last 12 months. David Palmer, already at number 3, is on the heels of the top 2 and certainly doesn't fear them.
I think obviously Peter and Jonathan are back in form again, but as you've seen last week, they got beaten, so I think it's pretty open. Then obviously first step is for people to get through and win their pool matches and get through the semi-finals, and then from there it's a pretty open field, and I think it's just a matter of who's playing the best on the day will win.
For Martin Heath, the Scotsman who's been mixing it in the top 10 for these last 12 months, it's another chance to prove his worth and try to depose the top 2.
I feel as though I'm coming together as a squash player. Probably the next couple of years, I would have thought, I'm quite a late developer, I came to the game quite late anyways, so I would have thought the next couple of years would be my best time. But I'm just frustrating as hell that I just can't beat power, I can't make any inroads against power.
There's frustrations too for England's Paul Johnson. Rising as high as world number 4 3 years ago, he's since had to work hard to repeat that form.
I mean, the season so far for me, as of January, it's been a bit up and down, to say the least. And maybe over the last year or so, I've lost a little bit of form, but I seem to have regained that again over the last maybe 6-8 weeks. I think the rise I made to the top, so 2 or 3 years ago, it was quite a quick rise, and after spending quite a bit of time up there, I found it hard to then maintain it. I think it's always easy to make a drive up to the top, and it's harder to maintain it, and I think that's what happened. Lost a bit of motivation, a little bit of drive, got a bit complacent if you like, and there's some good young players around, and so it's had to go back to the drawing board and see what was wrong, and hopefully I've found the problem. Been working on it over the last 6 to 8 weeks, like I said. Been over to Connaught a few times to do a bit of work with Pete Nicol, Pete Geneva, Neil Harvey and Ben here and the group over there, and just feel it's been a fresh scene for me, and feel like I'm heading in the right direction again.
Meanwhile, Simon Parke has slipped from his all-time high as world number 3 at the end of last year, but hopefully he's now over the 1 or 2 physical niggles that have held him back.
Struggling with 1 or 2 little niggles, which I have been on and off for a while, and it's just affecting my movement, and this game's all about movement. If you can't move like lightning, then you're struggling. And it's probably little things that people off the court can't really notice. Even the other players, I don't think they really notice, but I can feel that I'm sort of holding back a little bit.
From Wales comes David Evans, who's another member of that pack, scrapping over that world number 3 spot. He knows how tough it's going to be to win this title.
Well, obviously, like you said, it could be one of the 8 players. To be honest with you, it's very much open nowadays. Squash. There's a lot of different people getting to the latter stages of tournaments. But you know, obviously, you've got the world number 1 and 2, John Power, Peter Nicol, it's Dave Palmer sort of right up there behind him. You know, as well as sort of you've got, like I say, it's not, you can't sort of, one doesn't stand out. You know, it could be one of the 8 players.
But Jonathan Power of Canada is one of the 2 in a world of their own at the top of the World League. He currently has the edge in the ongoing 2-man tussle, but what about his current form?
Yeah, well, I like to think I could take the win here. I don't know if I'm quite in shape enough physically, but we'll see. Hopefully my racket work will sort of make amends for that, maybe.
And the other half of that tussle at the top of the world rankings, Peter Nicol. A few dips in performance earlier this year, but now seemingly building in confidence again.
I'm looking forward to playing this event and then going up to Scotland and winning that. And if I can win these 2 events, I'll be going into the summer training full of confidence. If not, I'll be going into summer training full of anger and preparing myself to come back at the start of next season. It's going to be a long, hard year, and it's all about who comes out at the top at the end of the time for the world rankings, and that's the important thing to me.
Well, it's a hard format for the players this week. First, they'll play each other in 2 different groups. The Fleet group, containing Evans, Johnson, Nicol and Palmer. They'll all play each other once, as will the members of the Harrow group, Chaloner, Heath, Parke and Power, the top 2 from each group, then going through to make up the semi-finals. So, in this format, nothing easy for any player from day one. In the first round of matches, Nicol, Power and Heath winning over 4 games, and Palmer having a surprisingly easy passage against David Evans. On to round 2, and the clash we might see again in the final. Nicol pushed all the way by the Australian Palmer, but takes his all-important second victory as Power cruises to his second against Heath in Group 2. In the round 3 matches, Palmer has to really fight to get his second win over Johnson, and Power rattled in a tough 5-setter by Mark Chaloner. And so once all the points are added up, it's Palmer and Nicol who go through to meet Power and Heath from the second group, and this is how they line up in the semi-finals. And the first semi-final we'll be looking at David Palmer from Australia versus Jonathan Power from Canada, number 3 in the world versus number 2. But no predictions on this one as we begin the final stages of this Halifax Equitable Super Series finals with our commentators courtside, the voice of squash himself, Robert Edwards, ably assisted by the former world number 2, Chris Robertson.
So Jonathan Power, the world's number 1, gets this semi-final off. Power, of course, dressed in the all black and distinctive headband, and may I say, quite a lot of hair there. His opponent, David Palmer, in the white shirt. Looks as though he could be playing for the New York Mets, but contrasting kit and contrasting style here, Robbo.
Well, certainly personalities are quite different, and styles. I have to say that David Palmer is starting to show a lot more to his game. British Open champion, a lot more confidence, does move the ball around a lot more than he probably did 18 months ago, but doesn't play quite like John Power does, doesn't have the same deception, ability to hit great shots from different angles. But I think John Power's got a point to prove here, Rob, on the British Open, and Palmer, I suppose, has got to convince some people that he didn't win it just because a few other players lost early on.
No, Dave Palmer has a great belief in himself, and he really has nothing to save it for, because after this Super Series finals, he's away for a summer's break back in Australia, and I think likewise Jonathan. So really, whatever they've got left in the tanks should be used up over these next couple of hours on course. And at the moment, it's a little bit as you'd expect. Dave Palmer is going to keep the ball in play. He's going to keep it deep. He's going to keep it long. And Jonathan getting his eye in before we start seeing possibly the Jonathan Power brilliance at the front of the court. And it all goes well for quite a match, this, Robert.
Well, it's a good start from both players. As you said, we've got some long rallies. Got a nice backhand drop shot there from Palmer. Waited for the opening. Kept patient. And completed the shot. But, yeah, they're sizing each other up a little bit. I don't particularly think Dave Palmer has got anything to fear. His confidence is high. And he really did show some squash in the British Open towards the end there that goes on to make sure that he is clearly the third best player in the world at the moment, behind the power Nicol sort of domination.
Yes, I had a quite a long chat with David after the British Open, and he is determined to show the world that he really is a contender for the top spot. And it's strange sometimes with a particular win, a player flourishes, flowers, comes into another level, and maybe that's what we're going to see with David Palmer. But certainly leading the Aussie charge at the moment, Robert.
Well, he's played 2 good points there. That action replay, we saw the nice tight ball. John Power couldn't quite get it off, and he's just very steady, very strong, very committed. You know, all the ingredients that you would want in a squash player. But his racket work and his actual tactical nous of the game is really improving. There we see a nice deception both there from John Power. Push forward. Bit of a basic let there.
And I think that with both of these players, their styles contrast, but they're both so competitive. And Jonathan, known for his histrionics occasionally on court. David, very calm, businesslike. Could see a possible clash here.
Wow, we saw another great shot there on the action replay from Palmer. Really did belt that backhand drive short and low. And it's a very positive start, and you know, obviously he's taken the confidence from the British Open and he's brought it straight on to this big, and this is a big semi-final for him.
And it's Dave Palmer leading 3-love at this moment in the first semi-final of the Halifax Equitable Super Series final in the wonderful Broadgate Centre here in London. And packed audience enthralled by the prospects of this match. And Jonathan Power opens his score sheet. That's 3-1. Dave Palmer, Power serving.
And there we see a beautiful backhand drop there from Power. Nice open face.
Plenty for the spectators to think about, but something for you to think about. Your chance to win a pair of Pro Squash shoes in our viewers' competition after the break.
Well, as we welcome viewers back in this first game of this first semi-final, the story is that there's been a bit of a turnaround with Jonathan Power clawing his way back up the score sheet and now commanding a 9-4 lead in this first game. David really has to put the brakes on him, Robbo.
Yeah, it's been a case of John Power realised the start from David Palmer was pretty impressive. 3-1 lead and looking a bit dangerous. And John Power, what he's done now and many times before, Robert, steps up the court, picks the pace up, really does ask you to go with him. You know, shots like that, nice early ball on the deceptive hold. A quick drop then on the backhand side. Very, very difficult to deal with that type of intensity and deception. Here we see it. Is the flick coming deep? No, I'll just put that one in short.
What a nightmare for the player who stands back on his heels.
Watch the racket head. That just goes through slowly, but he could have flicked that if he wanted to. That's the timing and the technique and the talent that this guy has.
And that's what gives him the options.
Nice reply there from Palmer. Not too deceptive, but still same result, winning point. Here we see it. There's no way he's going to be able to drive that, but he can certainly drop it.
Great camera angle. So 5 points separating the two players, and Power certainly asking now.
Well, that was a strong call. A strange one as well.
Tight.
Well, we can see it here. I mean, there's plenty of room to hit that ball. I mean, really, at the end of the day, there's not enough room for Palmer to go into the car park or into the spectator area. So, I mean, we do need those balls played, I think.
Well, this really is quite a rally, encompassing power, speed, and deception. But Dave Palmer is right up on this ball, but there, Power's in, and he's powered it away. Well, Palmer did well here, hanging in as much as he can, but look how early. Didn't have a chance to get across there, even though he knew the ball was going across. And this is, you know, where John Power just amazes me, Robert. I mean, when he plays like this,
don't understand how he doesn't win things a lot easier than he does.
Well, Jonathan Powers, there's Jill Wood, the match referee, and she could have an interest in the next hour.
Oh, she's enjoying herself. I suppose that's the main thing. But
smile. I'm not sure she's going to keep that smile for long. But
wow, we just saw a shot there that comes out of the highest order, and we get to see it again, which is a great treat. Watch the racket work here. Wow, that is just simply majestic.
Jonathan Power special takes him to 13-5, and he's starting to sail along now.
Well, when you consider Palmer was 3-1 up and looking very good, you have to really put that down to Power's ability to take the game away from a good player.
Robert, what I'm interested to see is just how much David can take out of Jonathan. Always been a bit suspect on his fitness levels, Jonathan Power, and David's certainly going to try and take him through the grinder.
Well, he will, but I mean, whether or not he's going to be allowed to do that is another question. I mean, he will fight hard, and this could be just a good patch for John Power, but at the end of the day, Palmer has to impose himself on John Power. He has to limit him, but he also has to win the points as well, Robert. So, I mean, the game has many facets to go through yet, but it has been an impressive start from John Power.
Interesting match, and it's game ball to Jonathan Power. 14-6. Both players looking incredulously at the referee.
No net, hand out, 7-14 game.
Now.
Make the call, don't be a smart ass. That's my job.
Well, Jonathan rebukes our referee.
Well, I didn't know you could get away with calling the referee that. Couldn't in my day, but I suppose it's the way you say it. Wow, that's good play. It's a little bit late for this game, but it was early. See how early there's a short line. He's front foot near that line and cut across court short on the volley.
Dave Palmer coming back into it, but he's got quite a way to come. Again, it's game ball. 8-14, sorry.
9-14 game ball.
Well, that's a bit harsh there, Robert. I mean, it wasn't a great ball. I don't think it's going to bother John that much because he's 14-9 up, but
I wouldn't want to see that happen at 14 all in the fifth. Jonathan can boil. And he's got the first 15-9. Jonathan Power 1 up in this first semi-final. And the second game continued to go Jonathan Power's way, winning it 15-6.
13-14
And now in the third, with Jonathan Power serving, Dave Palmer's on game ball 14-13, and the story of this game has been Palmer took a long lead and Power has come back to him, and now it's 14 all.
Well, he's come back because of shots like that. He really did look out of this game, but now it's Palmer's just fighting to hang in there, and you really would have sworn a fourth game was on the cards.
And set 3 has been chosen, so it's the first one to 17, and Dave Palmer really went for that, but now he's in trouble. Throws the racket across the court despairingly, and it's Power's point.
Well, the pace has really picked up. Power wants to clear it out now. Palmer is just hanging in there for survival. He doesn't want to lose 3-love. He's a British Open champion. They don't lose 3-love.
And the world number 1 wants to get this out of the way. Palmer is a dangerous opponent, and if he can take these next few points, he can win 3-love. But Jonathan's down.
Well, we'll get a good replay of that now. Wow, there is a fall there. He has asked for a let. He just complicates it, Rob, by actually playing the ball.
Yes. Dave Palmer won't give an inch in the discussion stage, I'll tell you that.
Well, no, he holds his own on the calls and on the decision making, and rightly so.
And now the court needing to be cleared. As we saw when Jonathan went down, there was a lot of sweat on that court, and that's one thing the players can't play with. But we're ready to start again, and it's 15-14. Jonathan needs 2 points to be a 3-love winner in this semi-final.
The game needs Palmer to win though, Rob. I mean, Palmer can snatch this, it really will set up a good physical battle. Oh, we got a bit of argy-bargy there.
Yes, you're right, Robert. We'll also ask a few questions of Jonathan and his fitness levels.
You can see there, David Palmer was not keen to let Power through to play that ball. Both big blokes.
Oh, that's nice by Dave Palmer. And Jonathan, oh my goodness me. Robbo, this is a little histrionic, isn't it?
We don't want to be
what
seeing
is
this.
Going on?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen better from Richard Burton.
Well, it's not a good example for kids, is it? We get a good replay of it here. Bumps, tries to play it, doesn't get it. Frustrated.
Well, I'm not sure.
Well, this is what we don't want to see. I don't want to see this anyway, Robert. David Palmer asking, it's my point for this. I don't think the other player needs to influence the referee.
Not sure Mr. Dunlop's going to be pleased to see his rackets treated like that. Nothing can stand up to that sort of pressure, and that one's a goner.
No, the only way he was going to please Mr. Dunlop was by winning the tournament and the match, probably, but...
Smiles have gone off the referee, I see, Robbo.
Well, it's a pretty critical stage for everybody, all three involved in this.
Well, Dave Palmer looking to be one of the calmest people here today.
Well, that changes the course of things. Bit of lady luck. Full ball, back wall nick.
And that's match ball.
Oh, he's still chipping on about the referee and John Power's behaviour, so it's getting into his mind. He's got to get it out quickly.
Over 1 point, you've got to fancy Jonathan Power with all of his touch and his boxer tricks, but Dave Palmer, he is a real marine to this game. He'll lock into this point and he'll give it everything.
And he's certainly hitting the ball with a lot of purpose. He's keeping it deep, which is good tactics in critical situations.
And a little bit of physical coming in here, Robbo. They're finding each other's bodies, and again. Now, Jonathan has lost it a little bit, and Dave Palmer is complaining about the pain in his back following that charge by his opponent.
We'll see it here. Well, I mean, he is trying to get to the ball, and it's maybe a little bit excessive, but also David Palmer's gone straight back into his line. It's a good shot, and I agree with the no-let. But both players have to take responsibility for allowing the clear path and trying to get to the ball. But the correct decision's been made. It is a no-let, because had David Palmer not been there, I don't believe John Power would have been able to get that volley, and that's the decision the referee has made.
One thing's for sure, we've got two players who are pumped at the moment. Dave Palmer and Jonathan Power, one sitting on a game ball, one sitting on a match ball. This is one of those big points.
Wow, this is where the American scoring is very exciting.
And a little bit of dancing going on here. Yeah. Dancing and romancing. Come on, guys, sort yourselves out.
Who do you think's leading? I'm not. Maybe John Power's got the longer hair, so that means Dave Palmer has to lead, I suppose.
They're certainly proving a point to each other, I think. Two big guys, as you said earlier, Robbo.
Well, it's good, Rob, if it's in a controlled sort of nature, and what I mean by that is if it's part of the game. But it's when either player takes it too far. You know, you've got to hold your own ground and you've got to fight your own corner, but just hope it doesn't denigrate into something else.
Well, that one's down, and Palmer's back. He's taken the third game, and it's 2-1 Power.
And while they take a break, time for our viewers' competition. And your chance to win a pair of high-tech Adrenaline Pro squash shoes by answering a simple question. Who was the player that replaced Ahmed Barada at the 11th hour in this competition? Simon Parke, Mark Chaloner and Martin Heath, your choices. First 6 correct answers out of the bag after the closing date take the shoes. Answers to this address or enter via our website, Super Series Co UK. We'll see you after the break.
We welcome our viewers back to the Halifax Equitable Super Series Finals here in Broadgate, Central London. It's semi-finals day, and this is the first semi. Whilst you've been away, we've seen Dave Palmer really come back into this match. He carried on the success of the third to take the fourth 15-6. But now, 11-10 in the fifth, and the both players are right up there for this.
Wow, we see a bit of animation here from John Power. Easy stroke awarded, and they're triumphant. And I don't really think he's had that hard a deal, but he doesn't agree with me.
Well, Jonathan can make his point on times. I think he's doing it there.
And I think that's the best way to do it. I prefer to see him that than all the sort of arguing.
Yep, it's great personality. It's just there's a little edge between over the top.
But I mean, let's give some mention to this guy here, Palmer. I mean, what a fantastic comeback. British Open champion. Had a lot to prove here to people that thought Nicol and Power probably should have won the tournament. He's 2-love down. And now he's 12-11 up in the fifth. I mean, that is a fantastic effort, and that really does show what confidence and his improvement in his game are all about.
Well, he's come a long way, because from leading 3-1 in the very first game, he's been behind, trailing, and now for the first time, and what a time to do it, at the dying stages of the fifth, he comes back and leads 12-11, but that one out of court.
Oh, he's unlucky, but the thing as well, Robert, he hasn't just rallied, he hasn't just kept the ball in play, he has played squash, he has played full court squash, he's taken the ball in hard and soft, and here we see the rally. He's tried to defend, the right shot just not quite executed correctly, and been hugely impressed with his improvement, and his attitude from 2-love down is a great example to everybody.
Well, I think it's more than just his ability. I think mentally he's got himself together. A lot of self-belief there. He punches that hand and he takes the lead.
But again, we come back to the John Power issue. I mean, how good did he look in the first two games? I mean, the guy has tremendous ability, but he finds himself, in a fifth game here, and he's 13-12 down. So you have to question his consistency, maybe his fitness.
And what's going on in that head of his? You just simply do not know with Jonathan.
Well, he's good value for money, to be fair.
It's great to watch. Always fills the galleries. 13-12. Dave Palmer needs 2 points. And what a comeback this will be from 2-love down. An amazing story, this guy. Worked his way up the rankings to 3. Semi-finalist last year, British Open. This year takes the title and finishing the season in style. Now they're both at it. Well, you can tell who's lost it.
13-12.
Well, both players arguing their case, and really, I can understand the desperation. Here we get a good shot of it here. I mean, that's a let to me, Robert, at best. I mean, Palmer has made every effort to get out of the way. He has got out of the way. Here we can see it. Look, there's the ball. And Palmer has a good point. I can't understand why John Power doesn't want to hit that down the line.
I'd have thought that he could have put that away easily.
Easily, with his point.
Dave Palmer was backing away as fast as he could to clear the ball.
And he was clear, and that's the important thing. And Jill Wood has got it completely correct there.
Now. Oh, it's one on top of the other. Jonathan is not a happy bunny now.
Wow, he's giving him match point, though.
And Dave Palmer won't need asking. He'll take it. 14-12, Dave Palmer. What a success story this year. Terrific competitor. Great advert for the game. Probably as contrasting in style and personality as possible to Jonathan. But these two guys have given us a feast of interest, great squash, and it still continues.
Good reply there from the world number one. Simple, straight ball, but ever so tight. Here we see it. He's deep of the court. And look how tight that is. Bad choice of shot there from Palmer, trying to play the volley drop, and he's tried it off the serve.
Now, that's interesting. Another game, a match ball to David, and he's missed it. Jonathan looking, saying, what do you want, one? Oh, he's taken it. Wow, now he's pumping that crowd up. This is a huge point. Not just money, points, everything that's riding on this. 14 all.
Well, they're both backing themselves.
What a get from Dave Palmer. Having to do a lot of work.
Oh, tremendous
Nobody's
pickup.
breathing here now. Oh, tremendous. Now he's certainly got a point there. Yes, he's got it. Dave Palmer is exultant. He's taken it. Great point, great match, great tournament. Dave Palmer, he's in the final. Jonathan Power, he's on the plane home.
Wow, what a rally to finish. Here, Power gets to it but closes the face down and the fist is up. What a tremendous comeback. Different angle, same result though. And there's the fist.
It's pretty rough, tough match in there, but I was pretty happy the way I didn't start so well, but probably due to I was a bit slow from yesterday and he was playing too good the first two games, but I finally played myself into it in the third, and as it went on, the better I went, so I was pretty happy to finish it off there. Probably blew a few easy points. I think I was up a couple in the end, and it was a bit of a gamble to call one in the end, but I got away with it, so it paid off.
It certainly did in spectacular fashion now. Who will he meet? Well, two old rivals contest the other semi. Martin Heath has played against Nicol since they were juniors in Scotland. Nicol, of course, recently in the limelight for changing his playing nationality allegiance to England. So maybe a little extra tension to a match that's seen some great clashes in the past. Let's look forward to another one here with our courtside commentary team, Robert Edwards, the voice of squash himself, accompanied by former world number 2, Chris Robertson.
So David Palmer, the British Open champion, is waiting in the final for the winner of this match, the second semi-final. And could be a real interest match this, when we look at two men both born in Scotland. Peter Nicol in the white top from Inverurie in Scotland. Martin Heath in the all black, born and brought up in Oban in the Western Highlands. And what adds a little extra spice, probably certainly interest to the media, is that Peter Nicol in the recent past has decided to announce that he will be playing for England internationally from now on, and that's created quite a buzz. So a little bit of emotion. Certainly Martin Heath claims that his best win was the day he beat Peter Nicol in the semi-final of the Tournament of Champions. He says it gives him an extra buzz beating this man.
Well, he won't be beating him if he keeps putting the ball through the middle like that, because Peter Nicol, no matter who he plays for, is going to put him away. But good contrasts in styles again. I mean, obviously a little bit of history going on with the origins of who they're going to play for, and they've played together in the past as teammates. But I think squash-wise, Peter Nicol's got something to prove from the British Open. Martin Heath, by his own admission, probably has not been playing the best squash of his life. The last 6 months, his results have been very indifferent. And both players, I think, are going to Scotland after this for the next PSA event, so I think they both pretty much want to win pretty badly.
Yep, they follow this with the Scottish Open in Perth, and that will signal the end of this part of the season. But it's interesting, Robbo, that since Peter Nicol made the announcement, his form has really, or his results certainly, have not been the best of his glittering career.
Well, I mean, obviously might have something to do with it, or it could be just the simple fact that, you know, he's not playing well enough. And you know, clearly David Palmer's emerging and John Power's around and other players are putting their hands up, but you would think that there's a lot of distraction and it possibly had a little bit of an effect, but that would wear off as time goes on, because you know, a lot of the fuss wears down. But he's certainly been playing well here, good results. He's very motivated, he's very physically fit, and he's got the technique to put drop shots like that away, so I fully expect him to be a bit of a handful here for Martin Heath.
And in the round robins that have preceded this, that have given us the semi-final placings, Peter Nicol has been undefeated in the Fleet Group, whereas Martin Heath has looked very impressive but has had one defeat, but that was at the hands of the current world number 1 Jonathan Power of Canada. So both players, a lot to play for, starting to show some real form. Martin Heath, of course, missed the British Open through injury, so this is his first big one since then. But it's Peter Nicol, 3-1 up.
Wow, beautiful, deceptive backhand cross-court drop. Put it into the neck. Again, we see it. Kept his head nice and still, didn't show he was taking the ball cross-court to the last second.
But Martin Heath comes back with 2-3. Martin Heath such a strong player when he's playing well. That arm looks like a band of iron.
Well, he's got such a strong wrist. There we see a nice little bit of variety using the wrist, running the triple boast around the wall. There again, beautiful execution.
And just a chance to remind you about our viewers' competition. You can win a pair of pro squash shoes by answering this question. Entry details coming up, and more action after the break.
With the score at 7-12, Peter Nicol up in this second semi-final. We welcome viewers back to the Halifax Equitable Super Series finals here in Broadgate Centre in the heart of the City of London. And the story is that Peter Nicol is, I wouldn't say cruising, but he's pretty firmly in charge here.
Well, I don't think cruising's a bad adjective. Have a look at this. On the ball early, good flick across. He's got good rhythm today. He's moved the ball well. He's hit some great shots at the right time. Martin Heath, just the shape of his game, not probably the way he's looking for. He's not maybe played enough consistency to the back of the court and given Peter Nicol a few opportunities at the front to show his talents and skills.
I wonder if missing out on the British Open has had an effect also on Martin. You need these matches to hone you, and that ball's back into him, and Peter Nicol has taken the first game of this second semi-final. Well, terrific appreciation from the audience.
10-all.
And with the score at 10-all in the third, the story has been Peter Nicol dominating really 15-9. He took the second to be leading 2-0. But Heath
11-10.
is now stamping himself in this game.
And are we seeing the repeat of the previous semi-final? 2-love, down. David Palmer came back and took the third. He's fighting for pride and survival, and Martin Heath is doing a great job of the same thing against Peter Nicol here, Rob.
Yes, and Martin Heath is not somebody to take lightly. Great thinker of the game, has sometimes unusual views, but you know where he is, very positive.
And I agree with you, Robert. He hasn't had a lot of squash matches. Didn't play in the British Open due to injury. And, I mean, he couldn't have got the matches against the quality of the players because they were playing in the British Open, so could be a little bit rusty, could be a little bit short of match fitness. There's a lot of question marks.
Martin comes from quite a sporting family, son of a basketball player and a semi-pro footballer. His brother is a coaching pro squash player, so pretty impressive array of talent in that house. But this is the start.
Well, this is a boast cross-court drive routine, obviously.
Oh, terrific boast there from Peter Nicol. Sets him up to finish it off.
Wow, good finish here. Step into the ball early, but
11-all.
Martin Heath, too many boasts to the front of the court, allowed Peter Nicol to dominate, and then he flattens that forehand out.
And Peter Nicol, our current world champion, now in his eyes in the lowly position of 2 in the world. He wants that #1 spot, and he seems to have gone back to the drawing board. He seems to be getting it right, and now we're seeing the real Peter Nicol. And if he continues like this, I'm sure Mr. Power of Canada is going to be looking over his shoulder, having to do some work here, Peter. But that body is very trained. This is a boy who knows what pain is on a squash court. He's finding out now because Martin's really giving him a hard time.
Wow. Fantastic rally. Martin Heath with the racket, Peter Nicol with the legs. So much movement and so much control there, and that's one shot too far.
Well, that was terrific athleticism from both players. And it's Martin Heath now, 13-11, and as you said, Robbo, if he can take this, are we seeing a carbon copy of the first semi? He's certainly got the game to do it.
Well, when he plays like this, you just wonder how he's not winning more matches than he is at the moment, and he really is making, Peter Nicol look very, very ordinary. And what a shot to finish the game up!
Another extra set, and it gives him 15-11, and now he's back in it, 2-1. And at 9-all in the fourth, it is really locked together. The horns are attached, both players are up, they're both playing well at the same time, and that boost from Peter Nicol earns him another big point.
10-9.
And we're now at the stage now. Here's the boast. Look at this for a beautiful low running boast. Dying before it gets to the sidewall. At the stage now where Martin Heath, his fitness is going to come into question. Rob, he's made the comeback. He's pulled the third game. He's got to 9-all in the fourth. And if he is a little bit match short, we're going to know probably in about 5 minutes' time.
Well, this game does find you out. If there's a flaw, if there's a crack, it won't hold water. Peter Nicol is certainly the man to find those flaws.
Wow.
That's a tremendous straight drop.
Very aggressive rally there from Peter. Played a lot of good short balls, kept the pressure on, finished it up with a beautiful backhand drop. Martin Heath was never going to reach that. Good effort though, he didn't give up.
And that's 11-9 to Peter Nicol. And you know, when I watch Martin Heath play sometimes, I just feel that there's a place in the top three for this man. And it's there.
Well, his timing, Robert, I mean, his timing of the squash ball is probably clearly in the top three in the world. He really does hit a beautiful squash ball. Just there's so many other variables that go towards making it a top player up.
Yep, and hitting it into the tin isn't the way to get there.
That's not one of them, no. Funny enough, that.
12-9 now to Peter Nicol. And Peter Nicol can be an awesome sight when he's playing well, and such a painful opponent.
Well, he plays these points well, doesn't he? From 9-all now, he's won 3 in a row, Peter Nicol. He's 2-1 up. He's really squeezing the play dry. He's making every rally as hard as he can, but he didn't pick it.
Great turn of the wrist there from Martin Heath.
Nobody's going to pick that
10-12.
one. He talked about that wrist, that forearm. Watch this now, the snap cross court. Wowee, that put me on my heels as well.
Just 2 points between them. And that both works again for Peter Nicol.
It's the working boast. It really does drag the legs out. It's a consistency thing. You keep rolling it around. You've got to go, keep picking it up, and just not enough in the legs there from Martin.
And Dave Palmer was probably receiving a massage at the moment, taking on some fluid and keeping an eye on this all at the same time. Is probably beginning to think, I could be playing Peter Nicol here with him 13-10 up.
Has to be said though, Robert, just changing the tack a little bit. How many lack of lets we've seen in this match. Both these players in front court exchanges are so happy to go through and play the ball. It does make such a much more a free-flowing game to watch.
Well, the British Open, which we both enjoyed so much, I think that was a tournament that in the latter stages we saw a huge amount of lets being requested.
Well, this rally is the perfect one in question. What a finish.
Sensational shot from Heath.
But what continuity. 4 corners, no lets, both players playing it, and a fantastic forehand volley kill from Heath to finish it up.
And the winners, the spectators, because they really are getting their money's worth.
Well, it's the first let we've seen for a while, and it's a questionable one.
It was a bit.
And
just
you can
a movement
tell.
of the hand, wasn't it?
Well, you can tell because Peter Nicol actually looked at the referee, and for him to do that means he's not so sure.
A glance from Peter Nicol is fairly monumental, isn't it?
Well, he takes every decision so well. It's unbelievable.
And these really are pinnacle points.
I think Martin Heath, he's taken a bit of a tired let there. He really is digging deep here, Martin Heath. He's grimacing on the face when he goes into the corners. He's fighting hard. It's great to see.
And that's a sign of that I've played Peter Nicol. He does this to so many opponents. He makes them find areas within themselves where real pain exists. And that's match ball, Peter Nicol. Now, is he going to take it? Is he going to be in that final with Dave Palmer? 8 players been here competing for this Super Series finals. The best of the best. And a big point is already being played out. And Heath is in trouble. Yes, it's Peter Nicol who takes it. This second semi-final, and it's a Dave Palmer, Peter Nicol final for the Halifax Equitable Super Series here in London.
Match to Nicol. 15-7, 15-9, 11-15, 15-11.
The finishing up point. Look at that for the width and the backhand cross court. Martin did so well to get it, but couldn't work the angle. Peter knew it wasn't up, and it's all over.
I've been working on my starts, and generally the last couple of 2-3 tournaments I've been playing much better at the start of the matches, and I controlled the first two. The second one was a bit tougher, and then the third he got back into it. He played really well. My length got a bit short, but that was also because he was playing a lot better, and then it was a bit of a battle from there on in. I thought he was tired all the way through. I didn't think he had enough juice. He's been out injured with a hamstring problem, and I really did feel that if I kept it tight and got onto it, he would slowly struggle and slow down quite a lot. I think I felt the game against David Palmer 2 nights ago tonight as opposed to yesterday, and so it's good to get out of my legs, and I'll feel fine. I'll feel great tomorrow.